Today's lesson is topic 4.3, adding whole numbers. The objective for today is I will be able to add numbers to hundreds and thousands with and without regrouping. Be sure to include the title in your notes. You should have a copy of commutative property of addition, associative property of addition, and identity property of addition to add in your notes. Make sure you have that glued in your notes now. The commutative property of addition means that you can add two numbers in any order. So for example, I can do 12 plus 30, and that would be the same answer as if I added 30 plus 12. In the associative property of addition, you can change the grouping of add-ins. Add-ins are the numbers that you are adding together. So 12 plus 30 plus 5 would be the same thing as if you added 12 plus 30 plus 5. The parentheses in these problems show you how you are grouping your numbers together. The identity property of addition means adding 0 does not change a number. So 12 plus 0 would equal 12. So any number added to 0 is always itself. The problem we're looking at today is Erica brought 219 bottles to the recycling center. Anna brought 142 bottles. Leon brought 436 bottles. About how many bottles did they bring all together? In this problem, the key is to look at this part right here. The word about is my key that I'm always going to be estimating when I see the word about. In this problem, they still told us to estimate to decide. Last unit, we really focused on rounding. So we're going to use our skills of rounding to help us figure out what we could round each of these to. I always like to find what numbers are close to these. So if I have 219, well, when I look at that, that's pretty close to 200. Remember, estimating does not need to be exact. I just want numbers that will be easier to work with, but not be too far away from the actual number. 142, well, I know that's really close to 150, and I could probably add 150 pretty quickly. 436. I think you could round 436 to 450, but if you were thinking 400, you could do that as well. Now, I take what I have here and I add it all together. I start over in my far right-hand column, and I have all zeros. 5 plus 5 in the middle would give me 10. If I write down my 0, I carry that 1. 2 plus 4 is one of those quick addition facts I should know, which would be 6. Plus 1 that I carried would be 7. So another one would give me 8. So my estimated answer would be 800 bottles. I can always end up actually adding all three of my numbers together to find my exact answer as well. In your notes, I would like for you to go ahead and write down this problem right here. 4,572 plus 2,391. Make sure you are writing down the problem exactly the way you see it on the screen. When I'm adding, I will always again start in the far right-hand corner. So I'll start over here, not corner, far right-hand side. So I'll start over here, and I get 2 plus 1 would be 3. I continue my way through. 9 plus 7. Well, I like to do a little thing where I would take 1 there, and I'd have 10 plus 6, which would give me 16. Carrying my 1. You always have to carry those numbers. You guys have been doing that for years. 5 plus 1 would be 6 plus 3 gives me 9. And 4 plus 2 would give me 6. So my answer for this one would be 6,963. What we are also going to be working on is checking to see if our answers are reasonable. What that means is I will look at both of my numbers, and I'm going to figure out what my estimated answers could be. So 4,572, well, to me, that's very close to 4,500. 2,391, well, I'm going to estimate that to 2,000. So when I do add these two numbers together, I end up with 6,500. My original answer was 6,963. So I'm trying to determine, is this answer reasonable based on what I got when I estimated? Well, 6,500 is not that far from my actual answer, which is 6,963. So I would say that yes, my answer is reasonable. In your notes, you're going to do a few more problems with me. So we have 14,926 plus 3,832. And we're going to check if our answer is reasonable. Again, make sure you're writing this down in your notes. 6 plus 2 would give me 8. 2 plus 3 would give me 5. 9 plus 8 would give me 17. I write down my 7, I carry my 1. 4 plus 4 would give me 8, and I bring down my 1. So I have 18,758. So again, if I check if I'm reasonable, I always want to rewrite my reasonableness problem over here, which means I'm estimating those answers. So 14,926, pretty close to 15,000. 15,000 plus, well, I look at that one and I say I'm pretty close to 4,000. Now I'm going to add these together really quickly and I end up with 19,000, which isn't too far off from my actual answer. So I would again say that my answer is reasonable. Looking at my next problem, again, I would like for you to write this one in your notes. This time we have 3 numbers that we're adding together. 3 add-ins is another way to say that. So I've got to make sure that I'm checking if my answer is reasonable when I'm all done. So 8 plus 2 would give me 10, plus 3 gives me 13. So I write down my 3, I carry my 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 3 gives me 8. 9 plus 1 gives me 10, plus 3 gives me 13, and I carry my 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 1 would give me my 11. So again, on this one, I'm going to go through and get my estimated answers. What I want to see in your notes is that you are actually writing out this addition problem just like I am right here. So you should have that written down in your notes so you can add them together quickly. So my estimated answer, or checking if it's reasonable, is 11,100. Again, pretty close to my actual answer. So yes, my problem is reasonable. In your notes, I need for you to complete number 1, number 2, and number 3, and check to see if your answers are reasonable. Be sure to rewrite each of these and write them so that you are writing them vertically. So if I were doing number 1, I would write my largest number first. So I'd write 4,543 plus 821. So again, I'll be looking for the actual answer and the estimated answer. So you need to have 2 different addition problems to double check to make sure all of your answers are reasonable.